I turned Brawl Stars Brawlers into Pokémon gym leaders and gave them new Pokémon as well as a team of old Pokémon. Of course, their team will be based on their character and the lore that is in the game. So let's turn these two epic rarity brawlers into Pokémon gym leaders. Grom is usually a pretty happy brawler, but I decided to play up the aspect of his lore from him being a kindergarten teacher back in his day. It's played up as sort of more funny thing in the Brawl Stars animations and stuff, but I want to make this serious PTSD. He's traded his security things for Pokeballs, but he still has a way to keep the castle safe. We're being challenged by Gym Leader Grom. Starts off with Eradicate, a reference to Mo, followed up by a butt-kicking Lucario, and if it doesn't sweep your team, Snorlax will. Because what good security guard wouldn't have the roadblock Pokemon on their team? However, the last Pokemon is an entirely new one. When the security guard's off duty, they obviously need a security dog to take their place. So this little guy takes the place of those bombs that Grom throws. This guy's also a baby Pokemon. Very funny for someone who hates kids. Now, you might have realized prior to me saying this, but 3/4 of his team are babies, or at least evolved babies. This Pokemon trainer Grom worked at a Pokemon daycare where kids in Pokemon could play, and he eventually had to catch some Pokemon. Now, resenting those days, he evolved them. Here's Gardevoir. Usually annoying little mutts, but some people adore them in an ugly cute sort of way.
Now we're just drawing a bigger dog basically. I don't know if you've noticed that my voice is a little deeper because I don't record this all in one day. So basically I tried to incorporate Grom's hood into the design, but overall it's not too much of a change. It took a while to get the body right, but I think I did it pretty well afterwards. So now he becomes a castle guard, which is the main difference between the last one and this one, because it's more castle guard inspired instead of just being subtly a castle guard. I said castle guard way too much in that sentence, but we're gonna avoid that. And in case you didn't know from the previous form, its tail is a little antenna, which is the same thing that was on the original bomb that Grom had. I also switch up the colors a little bit, and I add Grom's chain, and here is Corgi from Security and Corgi. The Corgi would definitely have retractable claws. If you look closely at the speed paint, I think you can see that I tried to draw them and just gave up. Next is Belle. She could definitely be the Giovanni sort of person who's a gym leader but also an evil team leader. I would assume that a main character of this game idea would be Colt or Shelly. And the big reveal is that Belle and Sam are the evil team leaders and Colt's parents. Here's Gym Leader Belle. In the story, the main characters, or the playable characters, are probably either Shelly or Colt, depending on if you're a boy or a girl. So they probably rewrite it so Belle and Sam are also Shelly's parents.
Gym Leader Belle would have an Electabuzz, followed up by a Vikavolt, and then an Electivire, all a reference to her railgun. Cause Electabuzz and Electivire both have those little horns that could work like a railgun, and Vikavolt is partially based on a railgun, so it all works out. However, she also has another Pokemon. I thought about where Belle would live or be located in, and I assumed it would be in some sandy or desert-like place, where outlaws and sheriffs would be to combat the outlaws. The Roadrunners seemed like a prevalent animal for the desert, so I decided to turn her railgun into a Roadrunner. I would assume that it bends down and straightens up before shooting out its attack really fast. I wanted to put some pink in the design, but I changed that last minute. Here's Railrunner. Steel and an electric single stage. Comment an idea for the next brawler I turn into a gym leader, and maybe even an idea for what their signature Pokemon would be. I hope you liked the video, and bye, sub and like.